69th Birkett Relay Race, held at the home of British motorsport, Silverstone. Racing in the Daytona Radical, Charles Graham joined Breakell Racing Heroes for the 4th season in a row. Having finished second in every attempt so far, the team were determined for a top place finish in this year's race. The decibel test followed, ahead of qualifying, which looked to be a very wet affair. This year's race featured 70 teams, 260 cars and 297 drivers competing on the recently resurfaced Silverstone circuit. Charlie gave his thoughts on the conditions.
It's okay. Crazy busy. I should be at home in bed or in a bath.
With there being 5 subgroups within the race and over 250 cars in 65 teams, there were multiple group qualifying sessions. Team owner James Breakell was once again running 2 teams containing 6 cars.
I've done this race probably about 6 times, 6 years running. But yeah, we've been in contention for a win 4 years running, so it'll mean a lot if we can get a good result today. Got some good drivers, we've got 6 cars, 2 teams, so yeah, it'll be what it'll be.
It's wet, very wet, very busy. Wet and busy is what I'm getting feedback-wise on the drivers. So much traffic, I don't think our drivers are being seen very well in the spray. So we're coming up to lap a back marker. The back marker's got a mirror full of spray, and we're trying to dive through. So it's close and it's busy out there. Qualifying now is more of a practice session, more of a familiarisation session. But front row start, hopefully be leading into turn 1, if I'm honest. That's what we all want.
Teammate Luciano Bacheta came in early from his session with some requests.
I've got like slow speed oversteer. Hey? I've got slow speed oversteer. So you're going to make a little adjustment, yeah? Yeah.
The team quickly went about making the adjustments, but not in time to get Luciano back out in his allotted session.
You can go out in session E.
Okay.
So if this was D,
yeah.
So is this C?
This is C coming back in.
Right, so D's going to go out, so you can go straight back to the assembly area.
Okay.
One of you give them that token. Okay. You've basically got another session.
Luciano headed back out to test the additional tweaks. Meanwhile, Wade was very happy with the setup of his car.
There was a bit there in the back, so we
there was?
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Gave that a good bleed through on the back. So.
Beautiful. It's going to be very fast.
Happy with the final adjustments, it was time for a team talk and to cover off the strategy.
One driver's getting 2 stints, basically.
I'll start, you take track, get a gap, and take it from there.
With Alan having covered off all eventualities, all that was left to do were the final preparations and send Wade to the grid. As 70 cars made their way onto the circuit, another 190 were prepped and waiting up and down the pit lane. The tension was palpable. As Wade lined up in pole position with the sister team in P2, he was typically laid back. With conditions identical to last year, it was imperative to get a good start and avoid any errors or penalties. The safety car led the field for a 2-lap warm-up ahead of a wet and windy rolling start. Once again, Wade timed the start to perfection. The treacherous wet conditions ensured an event-packed race with yellow flags the order of the day. Despite the yellows, it appeared that the sister team made a pass for the lead under double-waved yellow flags. However, it didn't seem that the stewards had seen it.
We're currently in P2. There was a questionable overtake under a yellow flag when the safety car came out. We're 10 seconds behind. Third place is about 30 seconds behind us.
Luciano watched the events unfold from the comfort of his car. Wade kept his nose clean and went to work on reducing the 10-second gap to the leader. Finally, after 22 laps, Wade got his man and took the lead of the race. If the poor visibility wasn't enough, the amount of yellow flag incidents made it even more of a challenge. A stricken Morgan brought out the safety car once again. To compound matters, there was a strong crosswind to contend with for the aero-sensitive radicals. After 33 laps, Wade handed the baton to Luciano.
It was just great fun. No visibility, so much standing water, aquaplaning everywhere, just like amazing fun. Car's great. Tires are great, car's great. No complaints. Everyone on the track has like been really super fair, actually, way better than last year even. The cars getting out your way, they're seeing you even in the spray, but freezing.
Charlie waited patiently, ready for his stint, while Luciano continued to extend the lead on the circuit.
We just had a driver change, got about a 58 second to a minute lead over P2. I think they pitted under the safety car, we stayed out, lapped in some fresh air for a bit, and it's looked to have built us up a nice gap. So we are nearly 2 hours into the race and we're currently P1 with minute leads. So hopefully we'll extend that.
Suddenly, and without warning, the sister car came to a stop in the middle of the circuit. Without knowing if the driver could get going again, the team made the decision to switch to the next car in the sequence.
Just got news from our competitor team that they had car issues and stopped out on circuit, which has thrown the safety car out. They were running second, about a minute and a half behind us. We were running first, so we've extended our lead, but we never like to see that happen to competitors. But hopefully the driver's all right, hopefully the car's fine, and we can stay on track and not have any issues ourselves.
Teams pitted under the safety car, but once it was in, racing could resume. Meanwhile, Charlie made sure he was fully prepared ahead of his upcoming stint.
Just been told we got a 30-second stop-go penalty. We're a bit too fast for our own good when trying to overtake after the safety car. We're about, I reckon it was about a foot and a half that we got it wrong by. But that's cost us, so our drivers should be in the next few laps.
Luciano promptly pitted and served the penalty.
I reckon that's cost us about a minute and a half. It's about a 40-second in pit, 30-second stationary. There's P2. I would say that's probably a lap and 5 or 10 seconds up still. Hopefully you can put in some good lap times and keep pushing that lead out.
Luciano pushed to the maximum, lapping a staggering 10 seconds faster than everybody else as the rain became heavier. With visibility at an all-time low, it was near impossible to see the yellow flags when they appeared. As a result, the team had clocked up a few infringements that had caught the attention of the stewards. Alan prepared to bring Luciano in ahead of Charlie's stint, but Wade could not be found.
So, what I want you to do is keep Luciano in the car. And we're going to bring Luciano round, just keep Luciano sat in the car until our other driver turns up.
The changeover went smoothly as Charlie headed out for his stint. Meanwhile, Wade had been found. Before Charlie's stint, the team had accrued a number of penalties. James conveyed the severity to the pit wall.
I know we've got a 4-lap lead.
That's going to go
but
like that.
That's going to go like that. And they've also said that if we do it again, the whole team is disqualified.
Unfortunately for Charlie, his stint was being hampered by another long safety car period and could not come in to serve the team's penalties until the track was cleared for racing. With the green flag now waved, Charlie came in to serve the team's second penalty. But during this, the safety car was deployed once again.
We're not allowed to serve a penalty under safety car, so stay out because we're under safety car. Make sure he gets the message. Well, we try.
Charles, stay out. Stay out.
So he stayed out, which is good, and then when the safety car comes back in, he's got to serve another penalty, but his comms are gone.
While Wade sat ready in the garage, Luciano reflected on his stint.
Crazy experience. I've never done anything like that before, so it was just really good fun to be out there in a car racing, leading. The water just made everything in the car kind of break, so I lost shift lights and radio, so I was out there not really knowing what was going on, so I just pushed and pushed and pushed. And then it really started to rain hard, and normally in any other race that would be the end of it, but obviously that's not the nature of the Birkett, you keep going, so it was really, really tricky at some point. The last 20 minutes in the car I was just shaking like a leaf, and my kit's there, I don't know, soaking wet, so I got out and changed into some fresh kit, so I'm good now. I've got a hot water bottle in me, so yeah, I'm happy now.
Racing had resumed out on the circuit, but Charlie was getting on with diligently serving the team's penalties. Meanwhile, back in the garage, Wade had a request.
Give me 2 minutes and I'll tell you if you either have to hold it for an hour. Do it in the seat. Keep it warm.
With the penalties having been served, Charlie made the most of some trouble-free laps, maintaining position and avoiding any errors. With his stint complete, he headed to the pits to hand the lead to Wade.
Good stuff. Hour and 10 minutes to go.
Luciano's car suffered a few issues, meaning it could not go out again. Therefore, Charlie would have to become Wade's reserve driver.
Don't be like nobody gets belts on.
Come and have a feel.
You're all right, mate.
After being watered, warmed and fueled, Charlie and his car were poised to take over in case of any last lap dramas. All Wade had to do now was bring the car home cleanly. With 25 minutes still left on the clock, the race was red flagged following an incident. This meant the team had won and could start their celebrations earlier than expected.
Well done. Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate it. Well done.
That was good.
Well done.
4 years, mate. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. We finally cracked it. Oh yeah, they've been really good, haven't they?
I'm in the winning one.
Yeah. He's in the winning one.
Yeah.
Did it. Well done, buddy. Amazing.